Hey everybody, and welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined as always for the last time by John Craven.
I know, you're going to need a new intro.
Yeah, we're going to need a new intro.
And joined as always by Ronan McNamara, and then everyone will sigh and be like, oh,
where's John?
Feelings mutual.
What's the story, lads?
all golfed out, I think.
All golfed out.
Yeah.
Some week, epic week. Yeah, we were meant to jump on and do a podcast last week, but
I was
John
disappointed. Where were you?
Yeah, well, myself and Ronan ended up at the Open from Monday, and it was just a disaster. We didn't have the right gear. We'd all sorts. Yeah, we're not set up for these outside broadcasts properly yet. We need to get together.
Big time. Yeah, I was waiting to hear all your, like, what was happening, feet on the ground, stuff like that. Fairness to Ronan, enjoyed his articles. They painted nice picture, very artsy in the pattering rain on the clubhouse windows, as Padraig Harrington. It was like,
we were doing good Insta stories. We were messing around with that behind the scenes stuff. Tour around
the gram.
You're not on the gram. Old school, right? Yeah. Right. Where do we get started with this? Right, we have to, like, obviously the Open, but what were your thoughts on it? What? I loved it.
I'll let Ronan start.
Go on. Yeah, you were there all weekend. I bailed on Thursday.
You bailed just when it got bad, I think.
I know, yeah, I got the good weather and got out.
No, like, it's not going to be a championship that people are going to remember, I don't think, just because of the leaderboard and who won, even though, like, that's probably harsh on Brian Harman. Like, he played sensational golf, especially on the weekend, and I think people were kind of skeptic about Hoylake as a golf course, but you have to say it was an outstanding test of golf. Like, take Brian Harman out of it, and nobody got past 7 under. Yeah, like, it's just unfortunate that once in the blue moon someone does come out and are in a league of their own and playing a completely different golf course to everybody else, which obviously does spoil the tournament a little bit. But, you know, he was a really, really deserving winner, I thought. Like, and it's testament to his mental, like, capacity. 2 days in a row, bogey 2 at the first 5 holes, and he bounced back straight away. Every time he made a bogey, he bounced back, and he just kept the field at bay. Like, the weather suited him on Sunday because it kind of took 63 or 64 out of the equation. But, like, he didn't let anyone in, didn't give a bone to the field or anything. No one could get near him, and it was a procession in the end, really, on that back 9. But no, like, the crowd was really good, great atmosphere, record crowd, I think, outside St Andrews. Some of the scenes in the crowd were unsavoury, and Pete will get to that, but no, I think just a great atmosphere about having sporting events in Liverpool, full stop. Like, it's a great city. The atmosphere in the city centre on one of the nights was buzzing. So I think it was just a great week all around, even though it was slightly spoiled by the biblical weather on Sunday. Like, that was just a nightmare. I've never seen rain like it.
You ended up in the Cavern Club on Saturday night as well.
Ended up in the Cavern Club on Saturday. Myself and Quinn are jiving away.
In with the old fellas, you're so mad.
The old fellas. And I tell you what, like, the crowd was old as well. I was one of the younger people there, I'd say. So I was definitely out of my comfort zone in there. But no, Cavern Club was really good, and definitely a great box to tick.
On the week that's in it as well, actually, Danny, my brother, had his first baby last week.
Oh.
Did you not know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. And, like, just what you're saying about the Cavern Club, he named her Penny.
Ah, Penny Lane.
Yeah, honestly, Penny, and Lane is the second name, Penny Lane.
No way.
Yeah, L-A-Y.
There you go.
Yeah. So
congratulations, Danny. Yeah.
But yeah, just on the Beatles stuff. But yeah, no.
I do like Ronan talking up Liverpool is such a great champion city and all, as if he isn't the biggest Liverpool fan going.
I know, yeah.
Like,
I didn't want to cut across
it.
You didn't go down to the docks to see Everton's new ground, right?
No,
did you know?
I stayed well away from that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like. Like Ronan said, I bailed. They were giving out sun cream the day I bailed.
Yeah, they replaced the COVID hand sanitizer station
with sun cream.
Station.
It was brilliant. Going around like all
the new normal.
I was only there for all the preview stuff. Walked the course a few times, sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Got out of Dodge then on Thursday, first day of the championship. But I thoroughly enjoyed.
Atmosphere was unbelievable, and the
on
lead
the
up
Wednesday.
to it. Yeah,
well,
Wednesday.
Ronan took the video.
Practice from walking up 18 with Macron.
Walking up 18 with Macron. Like, it was literally 20,000 people in the stands.
Like, probably
it was like a Sunday.
As loud as it got all week, I'd say. It was on the Wednesday. But I complained before we started this about the location of our media centre, but what I really loved about it was like it was right beside the chipping green.
Yeah.
And I stood there for 45 minutes to an hour one day just watching lads chip. Like, it was unreal.
I have to laugh at you. We were on the Tuesday or the Wednesday when we were walking out. Victor Hovland was hitting these chips, and I said to Ron, "Tell him to hit a fizzy nipper." He started pissing himself. Oh, what? I was like, "Tell him to hit a fizzy nipper." Hitting fizzy nippers there. Then he started hitting these little squeezy fizzy nippers. Then like over a pop bunker with a bit of check on. I was like,
It was unbelievable.
"That's a fizzy nipper."
There you go. He's improved in that department big time.
And I actually had, I know, like Ricky got heckled for not taking the 49ers stuff with Leeds, but I walked by on the Monday. Justin Thomas was on that chipping green, walked by and was looking at him, and like he obviously was taking that, like it was only 2 yards from him. There's no one else really around, and I just said loose and he looked at me like I had two heads and just like totally blanked me, looked back down at his ball as if to say, "What are you saying to me, you spastic?"
Yeah, well, he better get used to it.
I know, yeah. And I was just walking on.
Give him the Bielsa book, educate him on the club.
And it was beautiful.
And it was beautiful, yeah.
He needs to watch, yeah, that needs to be a prerequisite of buying shares in Leeds United. They need to watch that Take Us Home. The Bielsa thing on
I
Amazon.
haven't watched any of these. Get away. That's a niche market, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say Speed will buy into the whole Leeds thing.
He did, didn't he?
But
He did. He's over the line, yeah. Buy into the concept of actually owning it, yeah.
Yeah, because his golf game trends like Leeds. He's like winning majors, then he's close to fucking Corn Ferry, then he's back up.
He is a bit like Bielsa in a way. It's just chaos, but when he's on form, like, it is beautiful.
You need to be tread carefully here, young Ronan. Tread carefully. Right, no, but it turned like the event itself, right? We'll get into the course, we'll get into all that sort of stuff, but the event itself, it was a huge anticlimax for any. Like I found it, like I was engulfed in it. I enjoyed it. I watched it. It was a serious game of chess. But Brian Harman was just too good as a front runner. He got out in ahead, and like looking back on it, I don't know why we're surprised. Like he's a world's top 25 player. He's achieved some good things in the game without being great. He showed promise, obviously. In his junior days, he's been on the radar for a long, long time, but no one gets inside the world's top 50 without being an absolute like baller.
Well, he hasn't lost his PGA Tour card ever since he's got it. I think it's 17 seasons or something, which is insane. I thought everything was against him. Like going into the week, you'd think.
Bar the golf course.
Bar, as it turns out. But I think the weather definitely helped him because he was pulling driver pretty much every tee, knowing that the bunkers weren't in play, because there was no run out in the ball. I thought that was a massive advantage. But yeah, like you have to tip the cap to him. Like his putting was outrageous. I think he missed one putt inside 10 feet.
Yeah, 58 of 59 putts inside 10 feet. Only dropped 6 shots for the entire week in that weather.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah.
Outrageous.
And 4 of them were at the weekend.
Yeah.
Like
he's the type of player that will do well to win 5 times in his career just because of the type of player he is, and like he goes the most course on the PGA Tour. He'd be like a Zach Johnson or Graham McDowell back in the day. You just can't really compete on some of those golf courses. That doesn't mean you're any less of a player.
Definitely not.
No, well, and this is the thing about why this was so beautiful, I think, for the game itself of golf. Like the Open throws up these things. It is the greatest test that they'll face all year. I can categorically say from playing golf yesterday in the Pistons array, and as can you, John, like when you're playing an open road, of course, like that, set up championship wise, and the elements are thrown at you. Like Brian Harman hit, I'd say he's worn new grooves in his 3-iron all week. He hit that many 3-irons, 2-irons, 4-irons, 5. I would say every player in that field that made the weekend used every club in their bag. And there is not one more tournament that they will play this year that they will do that. This is normally, like golf as we know it now, is hit it as far as you can, get it down there and be left 6 irons, 230 yards. Whereas the boys were forced to hit 6 irons, 160 yards.
Yeah.
And that's golf. That's the golf I grew up on. Like, I know we're in a weird sweat. Like golf has changed in the last decade. 15 years to it's more of an athlete's game. It's quicker, it's faster, it's stronger. And guys like Brian Harman are not part of that equation. But it's lovely to see that old school artistry come to the front on a course like Royal Liverpool. And the Open throws these type of storylines up all the time. I tend to disagree with you, and I think we're talking Harman down a little bit. I disagree with you on he won't get more than
I said he'd do well to.
he'd do well to, yeah. I don't think so. I think he'll, like, this is no Todd Hamilton, Ben Curtis job. This is a proper player, and now that he has the belief in himself and he kicks on, I think he will be a bit of a force. Like Zach Johnson won a lot of fucking PGA Tour events. He, like, I know, like, we've watched Zach Johnson hunt Tiger down at his own tournament and put pressure on him in a playoff and made Tiger make mistakes and stuff like that, because he just doesn't go away. I think Harman's going to be that type of guy that just doesn't go away. And
he's from, like, he's a style of golfer from, like, yesteryear, things that you would have appreciated 10 years ago, pitching, chipping, and great putting. But, like, and you said golf is becoming an athletic game. Like, I actually saw McIlroy hit one of those 2-irons into the par 5, the fifth, and I just thought there's something so satisfying about someone drilling a long iron, but you're hitting the ball to like 45 feet, and it's considered a good shot.
Yeah.
Like, anywhere else, it's just, you can throw a dart at it.
That's what made this so good, though. Like, it was boringly good. But golf at its best is boringly good like that. Like you said, scoring wise, Harman was the only man to get to 9, 10, 11 and 12 of anyone all week under. Seb Straka got to 8 under for 2 holes. That's it. Like, so no one could, like, the weather helped, the way he approached the game helped. It was like someone in the Tour de France just got out in front of the peloton and you just couldn't catch him because the wind changed or something happened and they just couldn't get near him. No one could make a run of him. The conditions were just too tough.
A lot of people were saying that some of those difficult holes and down the stretch with the wind direction played into his strengths as a left-hander with his ball flight as well, which take advantage if you can. Like, that's great. I'm all for it. We're 3 vertically challenged men here, pint-sized men.
Exactly.
Like, and Brian Harman's shown that anything's possible, lads. Get out onto that driving range, do what you can do.
And he did his damage on the greens. Like he it wasn't just on the greens. Like, we're talking his putting. Like, the putting, definitely. He held 452 foot of putts for the week. So anything over 100 feet a day is, like, off the charts crazy.
But McIlroy, I had a look at this. I think McIlroy held 380, which really kind of flies in the face of that.
Harman held 58 to 59 putts from inside 10 feet.
Yeah, that was the difference.
There's the difference.
Yeah, that was the difference. We'll get into Rory now in a minute.
We'll hold off on the disappointment now for a few minutes.
Yeah, it was a bit of an anticlimax at the end, but Harman just was world class.
Like, you left, and I can honestly say the atmosphere died a death on Friday afternoon.
Because Pete left.
Yeah, because Pete left. Pete left.
It happens.
There was no one going around chanting Leeds. But like, it was
Justin Thomas's ear was clear.
It was it was a carnival atmosphere leaving the 18th green on Thursday night because of what McIlroy did with that up and down, and then I think he just shot 70 on day 2. He was our Friday morning, and it was still a bit of buzz. You're right in there, but at the same time, Harman was already at 10. And then he gets a 10, finishes 10, and Fleetwood is the local boy out in the afternoon, bringing the whole crowd with him, doesn't do anything. And you could just feel walking around that it was really still. You couldn't hear any distant claps or any distant cheers. Like, it did die a death, and I suppose that's credit to Harman. Quiet down the home crowd.
And none of the top dogs barked, man. Like, it was totally on. They didn't. Who barked?
Thought they did. Well, Rory, Rahm.
Rory did not bark. We just say he meowed. He didn't bark.
He meowed.
Not a hope.
Well, they did. It was just Harman was too far ahead.
Anytime McIlroy looked like he was going to put himself in the picture, he completely exploded. Like, you
can't say he completely exploded.
I totally stand over that. I had no issue with that. Anytime he got to 6-7, his game left him. And I know the conditions are tough and stuff, but he has a caddy keeping him dry. We didn't have that yesterday. I was like, I just think that, again, it's.
But no one did. No one was able to race.
Yeah, none of the top dog. That's exactly what I said, and you said they did.
Johnner's right, because
no one was able to close the gap.
The only time the only time Rory played the back 9 under par was on Thursday. Birdie 14 to 15 to come in 1 under. On Friday he was 2 under through 5. Saturday 3 under through 5. And that was the worst he could have been. He could have been 6 under through 5. Like
I
don't think he played particularly well on rounds 1, 2 and 4, but I thought on Saturday he was sensational tee to green and held nothing. But he held a lot of par putts from the distance. He was missing his birdie putts, which was a weird
exactly. And I don't like that. Has to be a pressure thing again. And
it is a pressure thing, but it's a pressure thing that he's in. Like, since 2015 now, in the majors, he's had 20 top 10 finishes. Like it's off the charts.
Yeah.
And he's still there. Every major this year, thereabouts. Like the door has to open for Rory McIlroy.
He never felt in contention this one.
No, he didn't. But well, for a little bit of it, when he got into it
For
on
like
Saturday,
10-minute stretches.
a half hour,
Like,
40 minutes or something like that. But that's not down to Rory McIlroy. That's down to Harman being just clinical this week, and that seems to happen a bit. Like Wyndham Clark was clinical at LACC.
But McIlroy wasn't.
He wasn't. No, but but that's the thing. You come up again. But McIlroy wasn't. But neither was the
But
whole
why doesn't
field.
Wyndham Clark come up against McIlroy clinical?
Yeah, I know.
Like
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not
Bobby
giving him any more
McIntyre did
bailouts,
last week,
like.
2 weeks ago.
Like everyone's going to say, oh, well, we left shots out there. When Harman was 10 under on Friday, I said that's the winning score. And I was watching it yesterday. The only man I think that was capable of getting to 10 under was Jason Day. The amount of putts that man missed on Sunday was criminal.
Which is
And
totally unlikely.
probably Ram for the amount of putts he missed over the first 2 days. But no one was getting past 10 under. 10 under was a winning score, whether Harman shot, 20 or 11 under. Once you got to that 10 under mark, you were high and dry.
Whatever about Rory's putting, I thought he drove the ball really poorly for the most part. Anytime he needed a drive, especially on par fives, he went into the bunker.
Yeah, he left himself in a bit of bother.
Saturday.
But they were tough conditions over
That
the
carried
weekend.
on from the US Open. He did that as well.
Yeah.
14, missed the fairway.
So where we're looking at Rory's overall season, right? How do you assess? Like, do you agree with what Rory McIlroy said in his press conference afterwards? Then, like, he didn't speak to the media a couple of days, I know, but he did speak yesterday after that, and he's playing well.
I thought he'd win this week, and I haven't thought he'd win for a few years. So in that sense, I'd say
thought
this,
he'd win as
this
well.
was a positive year.
But
I think he's definitely taken a step forward on the previous years.
without a win.
But the
major
question mark remains, and it's a big one.
He'll kick on and probably win the FedEx Cup now.
Yeah,
That's the
and
thing.
I couldn't give less of a
No,
shit
I
if he
know,
does
but that's the thing. But it's hard to believe that's 2 weeks that the playoffs start in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How are the majors over?
But
lads?
I don't believe that Rory McIlroy peaked in Scotland the week before.
No,
I think
neither
he
do I.
went in there with his game peaking, and he just can't produce it for one reader or another. Like, he still produced it to a level, as you said, that's going to get him a top 10, and it is amazing that he can do that. But it just feels like taking nothing away from Harman. He totally
But his
won the
golf this
tournament.
week was good enough to win. McIlroy's golf, I thought this week, it was just somebody was just world class. Rory
But if
took
it
on
was good
shots
enough
that
to
he
win,
didn't need to, and
To be honest, I thought he was too
pushing.
conservative. Event. I didn't think he pushed his thought. He had that driving iron out the whole time.
yeah, but that driver,
but
like you have
I know
to,
he
like,
can molest
the
it, but,
bunkers,
like-
the bunkering in that golf course. If
Oh,
you
no,
drive it in,
I
like,
know, yeah.
the protection around that.
But there were a couple of holes, like, what is it, the fourth is reachable, or the third?
Yeah.
Like, the lads were literally driving the green to a chip on. Rory was missing the fairway and struggling for par, kind of thing. Like, I don't know.
Alex Maguire took it on Friday. Fair play to him.
Like, it just felt like there wasn't a big
did he-
danger in taking that hole
Huh?
on.
What did he card in the hole though?
Par. Like
there you go.
he drove it in the green side bunker.
Yeah.
and
I'm
had
not
to just
comparing
hack it
Alex
out.
Maguire to Rory McIlroy.
No, but
on my last
I'm just
podcast.
saying, like if you go for the green, end up in one of those bunkers, like you're in trouble.
People like on
It's
the golf
it's
course
his
as
weapon,
well.
so I use it. Like, if I
Yeah.
have his weapon, then I
Royal
use it.
Liverpool in conditions that we were served up at the weekend is not the type of golf course you try and bully. It just doesn't. Brian Harman didn't try
Yeah,
and bully.
I'm not saying every hole.
No,
but,
I
like,
know.
there was just times where
I
I was like, "Come on,
You
Rory,
just
back
can't.
yourself
That,
there."
like, yeah, but it's too. The stats just don't point to doing that around that golf course. They just don't. And that's, you hit the nail on the head with Brian Harman. He could mince his driver because he's 40 yards back from Rory at the best of times.
Yeah,
And that was just shy of some trouble on a lot of holes.
yeah.
And the shape of the hole suited the way he was hitting it, and he was able to flight it well. McIlroy can't hit his driver that gently and these things are just card records. Like we seen, and it's not the first time the RNA have done it, the changing of the bunkers. They had them flat on Thursday. They made a mistake doing that with the bunkers around there because that course is protected well enough
Yeah.
without lads having to hit backwards and sideways and everyone under lips and war and that. So they did a good job then in bringing it up a revet and angling them a little bit and left it like that. I don't think we'll see flat bunkers at Open Championships like that again. Because they've learned a valuable lesson there again. Maybe around St Andrews or something like that, they're trying to protect, but like Highlight does not need protection. It's a beast.
Yeah. No, that was a shame. But without going too much into McIlroy, like, just to talk about Harman again, like, I do think he was unbelievable. I like 26 and a half putts he averaged around. like the one thing I would have loved was if he was paired with Ram on the last day and it wasn't Cameron Young. Cameron Young just doesn't put well. There was no fear factor there. Like I would have loved if Ram could have just made a couple of early birdies as he was making bogeys, and it would have really made it interesting. That never happened. And I just thought Harman was deadly the way he used the crowd. Like, by the sounds of things, he was getting booed in the first tee. You probably heard that, Ronan.
Shambles.
Or your man saying like, you don't have the stones for this or whatever, and he just used that. He was like, if you wanted me to lose, you should have been nice to me. So yeah, he totally used that as fuel for his fire. I thought that was deadly. And yeah, his whole attitude was like, don't be the hunted, like be the hunter.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Go on, Butcher.
Yeah,
he was you know, we look back though, like a course like this, like Tiger picked this place apart like a surgeon in 2016, like just A to B. Hit one driver all week. The place was nearly dead. It was like the moon. It was just
the dream. Though.
Yeah, but he picked it apart like a surgeon. Brian Harman did exactly the same thing in the total opposite conditions. He just picked this place apart. And in a power era, it's just so refreshing to see accuracy like that matter.
Yeah,
that's what I take away from this as a small little follically challenged young fella.
same growth score as McIlroy had in 2014.
Yeah,
just the only difference is the 10th was changed from a par 5 to a par 4. So like there's your, I suppose like 9 years on, there's your course being able to stand the test of time.
But like 340, this is 340 events, Brian Harman, on the PGA Tour. This is his third win. Like,
he did come in, I think he's 3 top 20s coming into the event, and he was T6 or something last year. So in hindsight, at 100 to 1 plus, he was an absolute, like, definitely backing for top 10.
He was in contention in Scotland last week as well.
Exactly. So. This is what I mean. Like,
moves into top 10 in the world rankings now as well.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Like, he's trending in the right direction. Moves from 18 to 6 in the FedEx Cup.
A lot of people saying he's like what they thought Kevin Kistner was going to be. Brian Harman is. That's what I've been seeing a lot of. Ryder Cup 100% has to be.
McIlroy was asked, like, how will Brian Harman's life change? It's not life changing with all the money that's around, but it is career changing for him.
Yeah,
like he's a completely new status now.
His life won't change anyway if he's just buying a new tractor is his plan. I think his life's going to stay the same.
But you look at the list of people. Did you feel like he ruined that major for you? The last major of the year, like, is there any part of you that feels he ruined this Open for us?
Yeah, because like even though it was piss and rain, like, and it's my first time doing the full week at the Open. Like I just came down for the weekend last year, so there was no reason for me to go out and get soaked, which is kind of disappointing. So I was kind of like shut off from the atmosphere, just waiting for it all to be over. So in that respect, yes, but that's not like to talk down on him. He won because he was miles better than everybody
and it's
else.
Unusual. We're highlighting the distance. Like, in the last 25 years, there has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 players, including Harman, that have won majors by 6 shots or more.
Yeah, like it's.
Can you name them?
No, I couldn't name them. Probably Scheffler.
Tiger Woods is probably most.
No, he's not Mosley. I'll go through the list of it. It's actually mad. So 2020, obviously.
McIlroy is one of them.
Harman, McIlroy's 2 of them.
He's
Bryson DeChambeau in 2020 US Open won by 6. Lowry won by 6 in Portrush. I did not know that. Mad. We followed him around. Remember us following him, John? I didn't think that was a 6-shot win. That's mad because it wasn't over till he hit his tee shot on 17. Very similar to this, but Martin Keimer 2014 US Open won by 8. Then you have a couple of McIlroy 8-shot wins, 2012 PGA Championship and 2011 US Open. Then we had Louis winning the 2010 Open Championship by 7.
Jeez, I don't remember that being the walkover.
He won that though because he got the right side of the draw on the second day, I remember. McIlroy
and then
shot an 80 or something.
Tiger won around St Andrews in 2000 by 8.
87 shots.
By 8. Yeah. And then Tiger won 2000 US Open by 15. I remember that.
There's a couple of things I draw from that. Harman and Larry, it wouldn't be like, the power hitters. They'd be the placement.
They're artists.
Yeah. And Keimer, similar to Harman, didn't really have anybody chasing him. I think Keimer's nearest challenger going into Sunday was Eric Compton.
Bubba Watson.
In Pinehurst, and like Ricky Fowler might come second or something. So you get a bit of luck as well with like lads maybe not performing, but no, it's interesting to say that. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's bloody boring.
It's nice to see as well these Odyssey versus Jailbird putters that the boys were using. Wyndham Clark and Ricky, like they were kind of dominating on tour. It's mad that
That's some machine that your man's using.
yeah, it's like it's a 2016 model TaylorMade Spider OSCB putter. So it's like it's an old putter.
He wielded it well.
It's nearly bigger than him.
Yeah, honest to God.
Like, it's huge, yo.
You'd wonder why he's so bald, though. Because he used to have a
Easy,
massive mop
Ty.
of hair on him.
That
That's
just happens.
life,
Listen,
sadly.
age will catch you. What age are you now, Ronan?
I'm 26
Yeah.
in
I think
2
I
weeks.
just saw a hair
I
fall
was
out
gonna, yeah.
onto the
When I was
mic,
26, I was saying the same thing, laughing at lads. You
Nah,
get to 30 then.
it was
That's
the
it.
beginning to the
It was
end.
the beginning,
and
yeah.
yeah, stop.
It had started. You're all right for now, Ronan. You're all right for now.
To answer that question, you asked Ron, the weather ruined the Open for me, not Brian Harman. I feel so ripped off when like links golf was all about firm and fast, ground hurl, and use the conditions, all the rest, and we just really didn't have any of that. Like that course would have been so much more fun. It was a lot easier to avoid the bunkers because the ball wasn't running on the ground, and the other people that ruined the Open for me were the players that I thought would have rose to the occasion over the weekend who just didn't hold putts. Like that, it ultimately came down to putts, and Harman didn't miss, and the lads missed bucket loads. McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood melted on the big occasion. The usual suspects didn't show up at all. Schauffele, Cantlay, we'll be saying that for 20 years. Never going to win a major.
Did Schauffele make the cut?
I don't even know. But yeah, like it was up to lads to like at least make it interesting, not Harman to make it interesting. And yeah, kudos to him because it was far from interesting.
Yeah. We haven't really had a firm and fast Open since Carnoustie,
Yeah,
if memory serves.
that's brutal. And even US Open, LACC was wet as far as I remember. Like, yeah, just haven't got the conditions that these courses deserve.
It's climate change, lads.
Probably is, yeah. As Europe burns, we're drowning over here.
Need to
Yeah,
go
honestly.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Matthew Jordan was a great story, I thought. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
He did very well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he was never going to win, but he had about as good a week as he could have, I would have thought.
There's some notable performers like that. Like Alex Fitz pulled it out of the bag as well. Like top 20, first Open, bad final round, but yeah, shows serious signs. Like
He was brilliant. Yeah.
good to watch, you know.
Followed
some-
him in a practice round in Mount Juliet. It's like, this lad is unbelievable. Backed him to win the Irish Open, missed the cup by a mile. But he's a serious player.
Like it's just so many angles and takes on it. Like, but
If you go down, yeah, do you want to like go down the leaderboard a bit?
yeah, go on.
Like who do we even have? Tom Kim, he was a gas man limping around the place. Rumor has it that he was getting offered crutches post round and stuff. Wasn't able to load his left
267
foot. 267, but where the injured golfer, not a bother on him. Sepp Straka, Ryder Cup.
Lock.
I think it has to be pretty close.
That
yeah.
Seamus Power gone.
Alex Fitzpatrick's playing the Irish Challenge this week.
Is he?
Yeah, he's after winning like 300 grand there in Liverpool.
Is
He's
he playing in Hertford this week?
He's coming over to Kells.
Yeah. To spend his cash. Yeah, late bolt for the Ryder Cup, no chance. Straka is now on the bubble anyway, officially. Poor Yannick Paul's been bumped out with the automatics. He's in the bubble still. Paul Moronk, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Straka.
Seb Straka now. That's it. Like that's like you.
He'll
have
be
He
on
looks
it.
like a man who'd make a lot of birdies, whatever about anything else.
He'll be on it, but I'd still worry about him what form you get him in when he's there.
Yeah.
Tell you, we've a lot more lads trending now than the Yanks do.
Oh, well,
Like, there's no one in that top six that really stands out from an American point of view, other than maybe three. Like Harman probably sounds terrible. Clark, I think someone else. Like you.
There's a good few of them like trend, like Ricky Fowler's trending and guys like that, but it's hard.
they're
to know,
not
like,
as scary though.
No, they're not.
No,
Like if you're
no,
faced
they're-
with a Spieth or like, I don't even think Justin Thomas will be brought at this stage.
No,
Well,
but
you'd have Harman over him for sure.
He's gone full Leeds United. That fella.
Yeah, oh, stop.
Literally.
These bad years, yeah, post Ridsdale disaster.
Harman will be
League Two.
Harman will be a bastard. To
League
play
One.
match
We
with.
never went to League.
Did you
Two.
not go
Take
to
that
League
back.
Two? All right,
Take
great.
that back.
Thomas Scott, that was actually sad watching him. Was that the first day?
First
It
day
would've
when he
been.
was
Yeah,
explaining
yeah,
his
yeah.
82.
Yeah,
Just
that was
watching
bad.
how he was making it on the 18th, like going from bunker to
Car
bunker.
crash, like.
Oh my goodness.
That's like something I'd do. Like
It was
literally,
sad. But
that
that's
it
why
was
I
like
was
a
like-
12 handicapper in the bunker.
But don't
with a hatchet.
don't make us change. Oh well, even the chip into the bunker earlier in the round like that, and it looked like he was trying to chip it into the bunker. It was horrendous.
I love seeing lads struggle like that, but it's hard. It is hard.
Just looking at Straka here, in fairness to him, like he had T7 at the PGA, and he's like T29, T16, T38,
He is
T64.
guaranteed now.
Won the John Deere last week and T2, like that, 100%.
Done.
Like actually, he has a lot more consistency there than I remembered. So I'd be all for him. Who else down this leaderboard?
Rambo.
Anyone take you like? Yeah, Ram. Well, that was one of my favorite highlights. Was Ram pulling his cap back? Did you see that? And your
And
man
the fan
in the
in
crowd
the background
behind,
switched it. Yeah, it's
straight
gas.
away.
Actually,
Yeah, straight
Kieran
away.
that does a bit of stuff at the events messaged me straight after. Rewind your telly back there. Did that fella turn his hat around as well?
Yeah.
And I said it to the wife when I was watching as well. I was like, Jesus.
Absolute game changer. Yeah, like he looked like he was fit to kill someone for the first couple of days. Came alive.
Him and Cam Young, they should have got them into a wrestling ring after
would've
that
been
when they came
brilliant.
in off. Two lads.
Ram was walking off the 15th on the first day, I think it was. He missed like a 2 or 3 footer, and it was an awful putt. Like, he was no aggression stroke whatsoever, and he was like a bug. Fucking robbery of a fucking course. oh Jesus! And then I think he bogeyed 18 as well, and he was just in serious like steam coming out of the
He was
ears.
blaming everybody in behind the ropes then because he played bad.
Yeah.
But there was way too
Oh
many
yeah,
people
I
behind
couldn't.
the
Yeah,
ropes.
I can't bloody walk around here. What's going on? I can't walk at my pace.
Someone stuck a boom mic in my ass.
Yeah.
I can't even walk at my pace.
But it's tough when you're playing with macro, when you're in, like you're inside the ropes and you're watching everyone around you swarm and move when he hits. Like, it is tough. Holmes said it himself as
Yeah.
well. Like,
Yeah.
And even for the group in front of them on Saturday, it was your man Stewart and Guido standing up, hit the ball, having to stop because there was a McElroy roar and people were scurrying. Like, that's not easy.
Yeah. What do you think of the crowds?
I thought the atmosphere was very good at times, but like, you got these clowns from Yorkshire and down in London and around the Midlands.
Like, oh, they won't
That's all your leads.
roaring and
all these
heckling
West
abuse.
Yorkshire hooligans coming to the Open.
It is. It's a barmy army.
Nah, listen, it was a different, like, it was noticeably different this year. That it was like there's been an increase in just stupid shouting and mad behaviour in the galleries versus previous Opens. And it's just the way golf is going. Like, we have the traditionalists that go there, and it's just an age thing, you know. It's
We had it in Port Rush. We talked about it before, like when Fleetwood and Lowry. And
yeah, but that was sectarianism.
He's gonna choke.
There was a bit of that was sectarianism.
100%.
Up the north, like there was last Colin Lowry, you're gonna bottle it, you Fenian, and we're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, that was mad. It felt like going up.
Yeah,
We're
but
over
But booing Harmon is just no time for that. And
booing and shouting, get in the bunker after
Yeah.
he drove. That was beyond the pale.
Homa getting like dogs abuse, saying, "Hurry up and hit it. No one cares about you. No one's here to see you. Who even the hell are you?"
Yeah.
Like,
And Ricky Fowler getting booed for not taking on the investment in the 49ers.
Yeah, but
that's
like,
good crack though.
Yeah.
I know, it was.
Aren't they so knowledgeable, Peter? Like,
But they know they are the
They
best
are.
crowds. And like one thing that you'll say about that, right, is if that was a US Open and the rain was coming down that heavy, there literally would have been no one there
yeah.
for the trophy celebration thing. Like, it wouldn't have happened. Whereas the fans stick around. The Americans get a lot of abuse when they come over. Like, we just back our own. We do that in Ireland. We back our own players. We're like, you go to the Irish Challenge this week. We'll get into that about like in Headford. And yeah, Alex Fitz might take a few people with him this week, but like Connor Purcell, if Connor Purcell was playing in the group ahead of Alex Fitz, like there'd be 3 lads with Fitz, and and that'd be his family probably.
Yeah, I like the only at the Open will you get fans clapping for a fella hacking 5 yards sideways out of a bunker.
Because they understand because we have to put up with it every week.
Yeah.
You understand what they're up against. So, the better part of it, the crowds were good, but it was just it was more noticeable, the roaring and shouting and messing. There's a lot more of it. Sorry, I'm repeating on myself.
It's the way of the world. It's how it's going to go. They're all well fueled and drinking stuff, and I don't mind it, to be honest. If a golfer can't handle a bit of heckling, good luck.
What's the funniest chant you've heard all week, though? The best one I heard was, I don't know who it was, teed off. I think it was Brian Harmon teed off on one of the things on the Saturday, and someone just roars, "Give me back my son!" He's just like, what the hell? It was so good. And even he chuckled a bit, like it was like.
some fella shouted chicken goujon, and he thought he was the absolute boy. I was like, just kick him out.
Yeah.
Chicken goujon. Like, I don't know, but you've any good ones?
No, I don't. But I did hear someone. I don't know what they shout, but there was an immediate shout after of "fuck off, you twat." Like, so at least there was a bit of crowd policing going on. That there was, some lads taking.
That's what's all about. It needs to be a bit of self-policing.
That's the game, isn't it? It's like that's how we play the rule book of golf. It's looked after by its participants. Blah blah blah.
There were a few. Like, we'll get into the course. No, but I might as well do the course first.
We've done a fair bit on the course.
The bunkering around the course. What do you think of 17? Like, I went down there. I loved it. I loved it as well.
Great.
Went down. It was the first thing I did when I got there. You hear all this talk about 17. It is an absolute, like, beast of a hole. Looking at it from the tee, it looks like you just don't know where to hit it. It's only 130 yards because you know, if you've been up around the green, like how severe the slope off is on the right hand side, and how dead the bunkers are. Yeah, but how dead the bunkers are. But there wasn't as many card wreckers as I thought there this year. I just feel sorry for the members now that have to face into like 6 years of that before the next Open comes.
Yeah, I just thought, like, you stand on I stood on it in practice, just stood on the tee, and you're looking, you can see the bunker left, right, and the massive one in the front. But then you look, you can't see over the back of the green. It looks like it's the end of the world if you go over the back of the green. But I loved it. I loved the Carner as well. Like, it gave everything from birdies, hole in one to 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What more do you want? And I absolutely adored Matt Fitzpatrick having like a 6, a card wrecker, Open Championship wrecker on the Saturday.
Just because of what Billy says.
I adored it. I absolutely adored it. I was like, have it.
Tell your caddy to keep his mouth shut.
Exactly. Again, the weather affected that hole. Like, there was also no wind, whatever about the rain. There was very little wind over the weekend, and that was like, if that green was firm, it would have been very interesting.
Yeah,
bordering.
You're talking
unfair.
a 7th in Shinnecock, like, if it was firm. Is that a bit before your time? Before yours, anyway, Ronan.
I
7th in Shinnecock, he's gone, huh?
Yeah.
2004 US Open. Oh, were you born?
I was, yeah.
Just. That was my first US Open.
I was at 14. Yeah, I should remember, but I don't. I wasn't working in golf. Maybe.
No, they syringed the green mid-round. Like, Harrington's on record going bananas at it. I think it was just after his group played. They couldn't hold the green. People were putting like 5-foot putts and ending up in the bunker. Like, it was that severe.
Lost the golf course.
Yeah, they lost the course. They've lost the course.
Internal OB, I thought was
loved it.
Absolutely necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's been there for 150 years. Like, they can't just rock up and give out about it.
Yeah.
It's an integral part of the course. That third hole, that's not always, that's the first, isn't it?
That's the first.
Yeah.
Did you play that as the first when you played it? No, they had the open road.
Yeah. God knows where they go, the members, after that hole to go and play the next one.
The third. The fourth.
What are the first and second then for them?
The first and second is the third and fourth. So outside the clubhouse, the third hole that we seen for the tournament, that's the members first.
Yeah.
And then the fourth is the second.
Okay.
That goes off the other way, and then it just keeps going around. I don't know how they end it, but it obviously ends
like
back up in.
Figure out Pythagoras' theorem over here.
Honestly, because the first
you look like Alan from The Hangover counting matches there in the corner.
Because the first and second hole in the Open as a player, just so separate to the rest of the golf course.
It's okay, Ronan.
Where do they go when they play? Oh.
Like any members of Highlight?
Yeah, get a Highlight member on the line. Surely you did met someone.
Yeah, no, it was the internal OB worked really well. 18, like 18's a card wrecker as well. It's not like, if you play it in calm conditions, not the toughest of holes, but with any sort of crosswind, it's a nasty.
Actually, up there with my favourite moments of the week. Lord Tyrrell hitting 2 OB was
it was so good,
glorious. I wish he had lost his shit at the same time, but he actually took it pretty well.
He did take it well. Yeah. There's some really funny moments like that. What was it? The funniest. Frankie Molinari letting a fart out in the first. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
He hits this ripper and literally a big boom mic stuck up his arse on the side of the thing. It was so good. And no one bat an eyelid. It was just like, walk on. No one will pick that up, and it's all over
straight
Twitter.
On Twitter.
It's all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Any other funny moments?
No, Guido Migliotti is a fan of the vape.
Yeah, I can see that.
Walk along there vape, and I was like, fair play to you.
Fair play to you, son.
I've no issue with a vape.
Someone needs to save Victor Hovland from Jay Lindeberg.
Yeah, he was looking wild, wasn't he?
That blue and white thing. It's the first thing you showed me when we got there last week. Look at this lad's outfits for the week. Like, this is carnage.
Yeah, I'd say they're playing up to it at this stage.
Yeah, they are. But we were actually lucky that it pissed rain at the weekend, because what he had underneath his wet gear was horrific. It was horrific. He'd be up in The Hague this week.
Yeah.
If he was. Like, McIlroy's wetsuit now was a bit questionable as well. He looked like a UPS delivery man. Going around with the brown.
I didn't mind that as much. I thought, Mickelson rocking up like I don't know what, like disheveled day 2 of a wedding, kind of just turning up on spec in that cardigan jumper thing. He looked horrendous, and he had a strop as well. Like, finish was a treble double or double triple. Like, just totally lost interest. It was almost like he did that when the ball was moving on the green with the putt. He did it in the bunker, just lost all control. Very sad decline of Mickelson.
What do we think of, like, I know we're going into takes on it now, but the Irish in the field? No, but the outside of McIlroy that we've talked about. So Lowry lost the shit. He lost the shit breaking the club. Very moody. Like, I know it means a lot too. It means a lot to us all. Like,
Harrington said he can break all his clubs.
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't damage the course.
That was a funny one. That was a funny take.
You were at that interview, the Harrington interview, were you?
No.
Well, you should have been. You were being paid to be at that interview.
I was talking to Anya Dunnigan for the magazine. And the other lads went to that one. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wasn't at that one. But no, Larry concerns me. And he has done for a long time, as you all well know. Just, like, since he got rid of Bo, it just hasn't really happened for him.
You sent a scary video. You said he wasn't putting it well in the putting green before he went out.
Yeah.
You kind of foreshadowed what was going to happen.
But no, like, I think someone mentioned it to me that maybe I think this is the time where the sort of trial basis thing with Reynolds is going to be determined. So I'd be surprised if that continues, to be honest. I really
but who else is he going to get? Darren's a really good caddy and they're good mates. And do you think would... it's so hard to speculate these things.
It's hard because he only wants an Irish caddy, which I completely understand. But no harm for a year or so, got your comfort zone.
Tell you what. I should take that job.
I'd say he'd love to have you.
Listen, I'd get him in a great form. We'd have great form now.
But no, breaking your club, especially at an Open Championship, isn't a good look.
Yeah, he's frustrated. Like, it means a lot. Like, he probably got to the hurling over the weekend, which is the only positive part of it.
My God, Limerick were relentless. Unbelievable.
Only in the second half.
Yeah, but like, that's 20 minutes and game over. Yes. Never seen a performance like it. On the caddy thing, just on McIlroy, I thought it was interesting yesterday, even though he missed the putt on the 9th, which felt like a crucial putt. Harry stepped in behind and was definitely giving him a read. The whole previous day, he over-borrowed every single putt. Missed it on the low side. But I thought, like, Harry's such a good golfer. Why not get his opinion? Like, even if it doesn't align with your opinion, like, that critical thinking and all, he has to try something different. I'd love to see Harry called in way more. Just make that a common thing. Most players let their caddies read it.
That's the thing. Like, we're talking about putting stats. Like, Rory is hot and cold on the green. So when he's on, he's on. That doesn't make you a bad putter. That could make you a bad reader. So I agree with what you're saying. Like, he plays on instinct. Rory doesn't take many practice swings. He just sees something, stands in over, boom, gone. So maybe that process, changing that reading process, is something that they need to do. But yeah.
What about Alex Maguire? I saw an interesting quote that you didn't lead with. Charles Schwartzel said I've the best swing he's ever seen. Pretty sure that was a direct quote from Alex Maguire.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah. I don't know. He has got a good swing, to be fair. But you know yourself, when you're playing with someone, they're gonna praise you tongue in cheek. But maybe it was. I don't know.
He does obviously. It's silky now. It is good.
He started, so he'll be kicking himself if he hasn't won that silver medal.
I'm convinced if he made the cut, he'd have won the silver medal.
He would have. Absolutely would.
Lamprecht, with what he did in the first round, the silver medal almost becomes irrelevant. He's thinking, I have a chance here. You know, he wants to keep up there inside the top 10 and have a good weekend to challenge maybe for the Claret Jug or what have you. But like, every day he got worse and worse and worse, and it's just a shame for Alex that
finished second.
Got away from him in the second round. Like, he started well the second round. Like, he was level par through 7, made a double on 8, and he kind of just didn't recover from that. And he was actually very disappointed, and fair play to him for actually coming and chatting after, because to shoot 80 any day is a pretty chastising experience.
Yeah.
Seamus Power should have made that cut as well. 2 doubles on the Friday.
Yeah, I just had no confidence about him going in after he pulled out of Scotland with that hip injury. Like, whatever that was, he couldn't have been 100% this week.
He's in a tricky spot now, Seamus Power.
He's in trouble. But the thing is, and he mentions this himself, not everyone's going to be playing FedEx Cup at the playoffs. Like, he will be there. He has an extra, at least 2 events to get him in. And if he gets into the Tour Championship, like, that's a pretty good claim. So he does have time to recover, but time is running out.
And the win has got him he's another year of exemptions and stuff like that as well. So he's grand. Actually, he's at the media day for the Irish Open is tomorrow, so he's at that.
He's outside the top. He's outside the top 50 now.
Yeah, for the first time in probably a year and a half.
Yeah.
So no, it was interesting. No, I was very impressed with Alex Maguire, how he spoke, how like we spent a lot of time with him at the start of the week. Went in, immersed himself in the tournament.
Yeah,
wasn't there just to make up numbers, and played some really, really good golf. Will be a bit disappointed that he didn't make the cut and put in a challenge in that, because it was well within his grasp. But the one quote that I was really happy to see him putting out, like, he knows he can compete at that level now. He didn't see anything different there that he couldn't do, and it was just, you're thrown into the deep end of a major like that. It is a very eye-opening experience, but no, he will take a lot and learn a lot from this week, and like, he's another year left in college. I know we spoke to him on the Wednesday beforehand, Ronan. He's not at the South this week. He's had to take a week off because he's
totally fair.
He's playing the ball.
The Bonalac next week, which is sort of a Ryder Cup themed amateur event with Europe against America. So he's in that team. Still no word on the Walker Cup stuff.
No.
Surely that has to follow very soon.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, he's 1 to 100, like we were saying a few weeks ago. And when you see like what Ireland played England in the European final,
John Goff,
and he beat John Goff.
And he said he felt he had to win that to get on the World Cup team.
Exactly.
Because there's some selectors on the English side. But I thought, like, going back to his performance at the Open, I thought the way he responded to the double bogey on 14 to go from +1 to +3 on the first day was really, really good. Yeah. I thought that showed, he set a bollocks on him. Like, he birdied 15, birdied 18. Like, for an amateur playing your first pro event, your first major, very easy to get overawed when something like that happens. Yeah. And like he said, he went to the 15th tee, had a little chat with himself on his own for 3 or 4 minutes, didn't talk to the caddy. So I thought that said a lot about how mentally strong he is, that he was able to, settle himself and finish really strongly.
Yeah. No, I was well impressed. Like, he'd go on to big things, so is that it from the Open? Do you have any other takes in the Open, lads?
I don't.
No.
As you say, long wait now till the Masters.
It's your last major with us. Yeah, that's it. Done.
That's it. Major. I was actually thinking that I started with you in 2015, and I thought I was going to sign off this week, having seen out Rory's drought. It started with me, and it's going to continue after I'm gone now. Sadly,
you should have gone instead of me.
Yeah,
things might have turned out differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Sad. It's rough. It is
rough.
Right, roundup of other bits is going on. We've the South happening this week.
We do. Few absentees from the field this week, which is disappointing. It clashes with other things. Obviously, Alex is away, Max Kennedy is away as well, and you got Hugh Foley, Matt McLean, and Mark Power are playing stateside now in preparation for the US Amateur coming up.
Mark Power's playing the Irish Challenge.
Yeah, Mark Power's playing Irish Challenge. Liam Nolan's playing the Irish Challenge too, and then you've got Sean Keeling, who's away playing the US Junior. So a few kind of big names missing, but you still have a couple of really good feature groups if anyone wants to go out and watch. You got Peter O'Keefe, Rod Brazel, and Connacht Stroke Play champion Sam Murphy, who I think he shot 11 under there at the weekend. Yeah. So if there's any bookies doing odds, he'd be worth a flutter.
He'd be slashed.
Ryan Griffin, Owen Murphy, Joshua Hill is another good group working out and watching. Quentin Carew, Colin Campbell are playing together. So there is still, good names there. Rob Moran's playing, I think, with Keith Egan and Luke O'Neill, another strong tree ball. Mark Poucher as well. There's still, big names. Jack Hearn, Richard Knightley. So plenty still to go out and watch. I'm
going to have a punt on Quentin Carew this week, actually. I fancy Quentin to do well.
Fair play to you.
Go on. Sure, the guards, they aren't on the streets of Dublin, so you may as well back to the fairways.
Yeah, I'm going to have a punt on Quentin. Yeah, no, it'll be a good. It's always South is always a great event. Like looking forward to it this week. One of us will end up down there one day, but it goes on it's a long week.
It's a long week.
It's a long
It's
week.
funny. Alex McGuire's list is the favourite this week for the South of Ireland.
And he's not playing.
He's not playing. He's
Happy
10 to 1.
days.
Sam Murphy's joint favourite 10 to 1. Max Kennedy 14. He's also not playing. TJ Ford now the local boy down in Lahinch.
Good way of laundering money now. If you have a load of money sticking
Plenty
around, just
going.
back him and just claim it back.
Yeah.
Sorry. A little inside job there.
David Shield 33 to 1 would be my tip.
Yeah. There you have it now from the horse's mouth.
That's it.
The Irish Challenge then at Headford. So we've already touched on. It's a pity these two events are clashing because we should have a lot more amateurs playing in the.
Yeah.
They have a Monday qualifier today down there. They have a couple of local boys. I know we've done a piece on that as well. Playing that. Who are the two lads? Is it Evan Ship?
Is one. Mark did the piece.
And Tyke Burns, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That are both playing like two home lads. But there's a lot of people playing that qualifier today.
Yeah.
to
Like a
try
lot of
and
lads
make the field.
playing Clutch Pro have kind of taken that off, come play this, and maybe some of them will fly over and just play Clutch Pro the next morning instead of playing the practice round.
Evan Ship
Yeah.
and Tyke Burns.
Well, like
yeah.
it's the whole thing with the I think it's the Christy O'Connor trophy for the Irish player. Like you can't turn that down. You never know if you get in. If you have a week,
100%.
You could be playing the Irish
You
Open.
have the week of your life, and that's
Yeah.
it. You're playing the Irish Open, and you can have another week of your life.
But no, on the amateur point, I think we had 3 or 4 last year. We only have Liam Nolan and Mark Power. But Mark's best buddy Paul Murphy's playing, so best luck to him.
Mark McGowan's best buddy.
Irish amateur champion John Goff's in the field too, so like he'll have plenty of support because it's nearly that is genuinely
That's
nearly
his
a home
home
event
event.
for him. Yeah, as much as the island felt like he was at home, he's playing in bloody Kells. Like
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
load of interesting lads. So like Sharvin, Paul Dunn, Niall Carney, Jonathan Colwell,
John
like-
Murphy.
John Murphy's there. Yeah, I was actually surprised with that because that's not a very long break if he's staying up this week.
He's playing a lot though. I seen in his Insta. He's playing a fair bit. He's clipping balls. He's down.
Oh yeah, like he wasn't taking a break from the game, but just competitive golf. I thought, but maybe like that could be a nice one to nurse your way back in.
The field's good, like, and it's obviously not a DP World Tour event, but there's a lot of lads who are either haven't fulfilled their potential or on the DP World Tour and are kind of like have become like also rans like Will Cunny Naber, Renato Paratore, Brandon Stone is playing like
Really?
yeah. You've Tom Lewis. Like, how good was he supposed to be? He's playing like.
Is Matteo Manasaro down?
I don't think so.
Don't think so.
He's gone 2 Billy Big Bollocks now for Challenge Tour.
Yeah.
1-2 of them now.
Like
Won't even come to Ireland.
Benjamin Hebert is playing. Good French player.
It'll be a class event. Like Headford, the new course Headford is, when it's set up right like that, is a top test. So it'll be very interesting. This event got a really hard weather week in 2018 when we had it. And
This month hasn't been much better.
it hasn't been much better, no, but the weather forecast looks a bit better for this week. Like it'll be good. So if you do, like if you're starved of golf and you couldn't get across so much professional golf, like a visit to Headford over this weekend will be really, really good. And there's always
But
great
it's free.
stuff to do.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like unreal.
Just get in, register for tickets, rock up, and it's class. Like,
Amen, Pete. Amen.
we've a major this week as well, Evian.
Yeah, half a major. I don't buy into the Evian. I'm
Why?
not going to hype this one up.
I had a lovely bottle of Evian water this week. So
You're drinking Ishka now. There's a bottle of Ishka there.
You shouldn't be drinking bottled water. How many times do I have to tell you this, Ron?
Your man.
Nah,
my
the
God.
Evian water is the best around, lads.
Right, yeah, the Evian. Leona she's trending still. Like she's due.
Is she trending? Like, of course she was trending, but this is what freaks me out about this women's schedule. Like, they were playing the Great Dow Lakes Invitational, Bay Lakes, or whatever it is, team event before this week. I just think it's a strange run up to the majors. They had back-to-back majors earlier in the year. I think it's so hard to gauge where a player's at going into a women's major, the way the schedule's been this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, herself and Steph have major form to lean on. But I don't like when players are taking a couple of weeks before a major, and not because they don't really have anything that they want to play in.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre schedule.
No, it'll be an interesting one, but no, it's.
But no,
just
like
one to
Leona
watch
shot
that.
61, didn't she? There
Yeah, she's
last year.
good course
whatever,
form
like,
there, like, so you
yeah.
know.
Good course form, and she showed a bit at the Aramco series a few weeks ago as well. Like, I know she never really got in the mix. Corda just ran away with that, but she's she's thereabouts. Lauren Walsh isn't in the field for that, but she's really hit the ground running professionally as well. She seems to be taken to it like a duck to water, so she just missed out on an LET Access title straight out the gate there last week.
Yeah, debut there. Like the week before, she missed the cut at the Dana Open, which would have been a really good experience on the LPGA Tour. Last week, yeah, like she was overnight leader on day one, didn't have a great second day, but played well in the last round, pipped by a shot to Liana Bailey of England. Said she played a lot better. She actually said like she played her worst golf the first day. She shot 66 or something. So golf's a funny old game, and she's actually back at the exact same golf course this week. And a live update is that she's 2 under through 5 holes. So another Access event. I asked her what her plan was, like, because you can earn status on the LET through these events, but her plan is LPGA Tour Q School, and LET by all accounts would be a backup plan. But like it'd be a good backup plan to have if things don't go well back in America.
Few Irish girls going well in the LET the last few weeks, like Sarah Byrne, Anna Foster showed up well, and obviously Lauren last week and so far today. Hopefully she keeps it going. Like, great little tour to kind of establish yourself at pro level.
It's good professional golf for them to play. Like, it just whets your appetite for it, doesn't it?
Big time. No, Lauren's been well looked after as well. Like, she's on some Annika program, has accommodation and stuff in the States, of course, to practice on. Like
Golf Ireland funding her as well with a bid I seen a few weeks ago. So
yeah, she has half a grant or whatever for the rest of the year. So yeah, she's a really good chance to start off really well.
Anything else on Roundup?
There was no Irish interest in these events, but like Ashke Vadia, who's a 21-year-old American, he's seems like a character, to be fair to him. Like, he turned pro when he's 17, beat Patrick Rogers in a playoff at the Barracuda by he had to birdie the last. Patrick Rogers missed his putt, and then Rogers went into a divot down the first playoff hole, chunked it, didn't get up and down. So Badia won the title. Patrick Rogers still without a win, but it's a nice one to pick up those crossfield events or whatever when there's a major on. Like, cause like that's his exemption sorted into the majors and stuff. So hopefully the PGA Tour will be hoping they have a new star.
Well, that's it.
Look what a different Seamus Power.
Exactly.
He won 2 of those sort of
different times though. I struggle with these now. Like, we don't know what the PGA Tour is going to be like next year. What did he get? A 1 year exemption?
I think,
or is it 2? Like,
I think it's only a year, but
into
the PGA, into the players, stuff like that.
Is it definitely?
Yeah, 100%.
He's a lean,
he's
a lean man.
Oh, stop! Do you remember he had to strip down to his he stripped down to his boxers at one stage earlier in the year? I think that was at the match play or something. It was at a decent event anyway. Might have been the match play.
I think it was in one of those off-season events. At the start of the year. But no, some fan heckled him. I think afterwards asked him, like, how much do you weigh? And he said, look, I think he said something along the lines, whatever it is, plus the check I've just won.
Yeah, no, that's good.
There was LPGA, again, no Irish interest. Cheyenne Knight and Elizabeth Sokol won the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational. They're calling themselves the Elizabethan Knights, which is a good little nickname. Congrats on that, whoever made that up. And then, just sailing myself down rivers of pronunciation here, but the La Sella Open on the LET was won by Nuria Iturrioz of Spain. It's her 4th LET win, should I say, and I presume she'll be at Dromoland Castle.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a winner to look out for, I guess. Like, she's only, I think, 25 or something like that. So
tickets are going fast for that as well, apparently. So do
fields are definitely taking shape. Like, and
log into if you just do a search for a KPMG Women's Irish Open, it'll hit up top of that, and yeah, definitely get your tickets quick, because I'd say I would be surprised if the weekend
will sell, yeah, 100%.
So get on soon if you have any ambition of bringing the kids down or going yourself down. It will be a great week. So, and it's great to have like there and the Irish Open kind of back to back as well, and then we're leading into Solheim and Ryder Cup, all that stuff. Like, it's a mad few months ahead. Mad few months. Yeah, you're gone. You'll be in Brazil there. You'll be in Colombia somewhere.
Yeah. Hola, chicos.
In the lithium mines.
Yeah.
I think that's it from Roundup as well, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Heroes and villains.
Who wants to start?
I'll start off. My heroes. I have 2 heroes. So Sky Sports Golf for the coverage. I just thought it was top class. I think Sky Sports smashed it out of the park for the Open Championship. Compared what they're served up the other side of the water. We give Sky a lot of abuse a lot of times, but when they have full access, we had there's nothing you missed for the Open Championship with that team that they had there, and the coverage was class. And then Jamie Butler in Naas 2 weeks ago. We didn't do a pod last week, so he did 100 holes for the Jack and Jill Foundation, which is a local charity in Naas. He still has I think he's up like 12 grand or something he's made. So he played 100 holes in a day. It absolutely hosed down for the entire day on him, bar the last 9 holes. I went up for the last 9 holes. I would follow him around. He finished really strong. 100 holes. He shot level par for the 100 holes. So his last 4 holes, he went eagle, birdie, par, and then missed a 6-footer on the last, which I was sticking videos up of to go 1 under for 100 holes, carrying his own bag for the day. So all to raise money for Jack and Jill. So huge shout out to Jamie Butler. It was an unbelievable achievement, and fair play. Anyone that does want to contribute to that, look up Jamie Butler and any of his social channels, and he has links there all over the places how to give a few quid.
Unbelievable. Like, we actually played golf yesterday, and I mentioned him to the fellow I was playing with, because I was like, that weather was bad enough, and my mate was like, gee, I couldn't think of anything worse than playing 36 holes today. And I was like, well, you should see this fella, like 100 holes, and to shoot level par is just insane.
It's unbelievable.
Like, I don't know how many pairs of shoes did he wear. Like, he must have been changing his socks the whole time.
I think he was messing with the socks, alright, but the same shoes, I'd say. He and he only took a break for 20 minutes. The greenkeeper there moved some of the flags around for him while he was out, because the rain was so bad, there was water starting to gather on some of the greens. So he moved the pins to higher spots, which made them tougher to get to.
Yeah.
So, mad.
No, I thought he was class. Ron, what you have? Surely there's a few things you picked up along the way.
I have a huge villain. John Rahm's caddy. He's a disgrace, lads. He's an absolute disgrace. So, Rahm carves this tee shot off 12. Calls 4, fair play to him, and I'm just standing there, ball goes over my head, and I hear this loud crack. It's like hit someone off, like a laptop or maybe the roof of a buggy or something like that. I turn around, this fella is just stunned into silence, his body froze and this dead look in his eyes, looking straight forward, and just blood gushing out of his head. Rahm goes over, and fortunately for Rahm, the ball got headbutted into the bunker and he had to play backwards. But Rahm goes over, has signs of glove as you do, and he was actually really genuine. Oh, I'm sorry, blah blah. You could have headbutted it back into the fairway. I mean, the usual joking that you do, all good humoured. So, and the marshals weren't too quick to call over a medic either, which I thought was a bit weird. So this fella is getting treated by the medic, who eventually arrives, and Rahm's played out backwards, getting ready to hit his third into the green. And John Rahm's caddy turns around and asks, could they be quiet?
Oh, the medics?
Yeah. and then some scouts or trusted scouts to put a fella in his place. It's a bit hard to be effing quiet when his lad's blood gushing out his head and you're getting treated, pal.
Yeah.
I just thought that was just a shambles.
Yeah.
And like, Rahm couldn't give a damn.
Yeah,
like
he'd given the glove, he'd paid his dues.
Rahm doesn't care if your man.
His problem anymore.
Rahm doesn't care if he's making noise. He's going to get out with the shot regardless. Like,
he should have done the Harrington and given him a bit of cash for dinner. That was a proper response.
It was unreal that was so good.
You could add your Apocalypse Now moment there when there was no medic. I need a medic!
Well, who are your heroes, Ronan? Do you have any heroes? Alex Maguire was close to being a hero for me.
He's close. Lamprecht's a hero. Lamprecht, just for what he did in 17.
For being able to tee down the ball,
fair play
that's all.
The height difference between him and Harman, like when they were in the tunnel.
Shocking.
It was so funny.
I didn't get to see much of Lamprecht. I kind of regret that a wee bit.
He's a unit.
I thought
his serious
unit. Clapping on 17 was good crack. Fair play to you. Enjoy your experience.
Yeah.
Villain, Scott Stallings. Another villain, boys. What do you tell every amateur golfer? Hit a Provo if you're not sure. Carrows out of bounds in 18. Up he walks, finds his ball, picks it up, walks back another 280 yards to where he played it from. And in these, dressed in all black, and these atrocious, like Ted Mosby, How I Met Your Mother, red golf shoes. Like, shocking. Get out.
See that.
Get out. Get home. Get on the next flight. Get out of here.
Honestly. No one wants you around anyway.
Yeah.
Right. That's how poor Brian Harman felt.
Literally, yeah. I tell you, if you were a Brian Harman backer, though, my God, you would have been so sweet.
170 to 1. Loads of lads tipping him up.
Like, literally no fear of your money the whole time.
Doesn't matter.
The money was spent.
Imagine having him, cashing out after day 2.
Oh, you'd never do it. I couldn't. What do I? This is like I feel like going all like Father Ted Golden Cleric Awards, like and now for the liars.
This is your last hero and villain.
Stop! I have so many. No, I don't. Who do I actually fully agree with you about this coverage? That was my hero. And I actually saw good old John Huggin. You can't spell hug without hugging. Like just heard from someone watching the Open Output on Sky. Part of the problem is trying to cover a lot of airtime when not much is happening. Some of those speaking have only surface knowledge of the game. They struggle to fill the time with anything of interest. And he said that's spot on. Couldn't disagree more. I really think that On the Range stuff all week set a really good tone.
Oh, big time.
You don't want some like anorak at a game there, like spouting shite about how Hoylake played in 1980 or even before 1890, should I say?
Yeah.
I thought like Iona Stevens really good. Like I think Insime Met's improving.
That's a nice way to say she's not great.
Yeah, and like I think she's learning her craft or whatever. I think Iona's class. Like Nick Doherty's best in the business, I reckon, at filling time. Like they have to talk so much shit. Like that is such a hard job. And to like barely miss a beat, I think deserves serious
David
praise.
Howell was good as well.
Did you see him with
I
the
seen him with the
hickories?
hickories. Yeah, that was gas. That was gas afterwards. Himself and Holmesy.
Absolutely unbelievable. Taking out the bunker in front of him. That was
They hit one of
absolute
them backwards.
gold.
One of them he hit it and it went like -5 yards in a long driving competition with hickories.
I thought he was
Yes.
class. I think the Dame Laura Davis, she'd be a villain in my week.
Yeah, because she's
She
already
is-
calls again.
Well,
Just-
Oh,
stop.
It's
He
funny how
missed
much
it.
what you miss so much stuff and you just can't
He
complain.
missed it. He missed it. No, she was worse. She was
she is
bad.
horrific. She couldn't add
Yeah.
any less like to the commentary. She takes away from the game, just constantly predicting things wrong.
She's
The
playing,
cut
she's
line
playing
was
the women's
funny.
Irish
She's playing the
Open.
women's Irish Cup.
Yeah.
She should have her damehood
Retracted
or whatever.
for the week.
Yeah, 100%. My
Go up
God.
and call her Laura and see what she does.
Herself
Anyone
and
who listens,
Faldo
Laura,
together,
can I have
like-
an autograph? Sorry, it's Dame. Not in this island. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, absolutely not. That's one thing I do anytime like Nick Faldo's mentioned in the press release. I delete all the sirs. I make no qualms
pettiness.
about that
Pettiness.
whatsoever. Yeah, no, get amongst it.
What are you celebrating?
Darren Núñez, 30 goals this season at the double already.
Stop.
Jesus Christ.
If it's not ordering Ubers, he's watching football when we're
yeah.
doing a pod. Some
Um,
Liverpool friendly somewhere, right?
I'm
go on.
not done here. I'm not done.
know
But
you're not.
bunker tempering, you mentioned it earlier, taking a disgrace to the game. Like the pros give out on Thursday and everything changes overnight. I'm surprised they were let play in the rain. Really annoyed me. British press. The Lottie, I think you're over the top. The Lottie. I think there was people from Bunkered and stuff. Like, do you want reasons to root against Brian Harmon? And they were taking photos of him with that murdered elk. Well, he hunted that elk with a bow and arrow, and he eats every bit of that elk, and he hangs its horns
yeah.
over his fireplace. While you go buy your cheap chicken from bloody Asda, wherever you go, and don't give a shit where it was sourced. Brian Harmon is the man. The hunted became the hunter. I love the butcher. He's my hero.
Right.
British press villains.
Villains.
Next. No, I'm
Next,
done
right?
now. I'm done
Are you?
now. Yeah, I'm done.
Right. Jeez, that is good. We got an hour and 8 minutes of this anyway. But like we said at the start of the podcast, yeah, it is a bit of a moment because you started this podcast off with us, John, or you're off to bigger and better things now. Gone doing a bit of travelling off to Australia. So this is your last podcast. I just want to say an absolute huge thank you for everything you've contributed and brought to the other side of the microphone. I've had great crack recording these with you. The last year, 2 years, it was 3 years ago since we started the pod. We've had great fun doing it and everything else. Yeah, you'll be really missed, and we will dial you in the odd time.
Yeah,
I know you're moving on. You're going to Australia, but you won't be a stranger next year. We'll get you involved in a couple of things. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I know since we made the announcement, nothing bad against you, Ronan, now. But since we've made the announcement, the amount of people that have come up to me and said, "Geez, that podcast won't be the same without John Craven."
Get out.
No, because we bounce off each other well. We have a bit of crack about it. It's nice and footloose, fancy free. So yeah, no, you'll be
you
missed.
can
You'll be missed.
compile all those tributes for me. I need all the help I can get. No, I've loved the pod. So yeah, thanks, Pete. It's been a pleasure. When we first started doing the pod, I was like, oh, fuck's sake, a podcast. Like everyone has a podcast. But it's actually a pleasant break from typing. And
Yeah.
it's nice just being able to shoot your shit. And we don't answer to anyone. We can give straight opinions. We're not RTE in here. We do whatever we want.
Live
So,
bashing won't be the same. No one else gets up for it. Like, I can't bait.
I
these
have a
lads
lot
like
of
I can
hope
around the
about
live.
Ronan's moral compass pointing the right direction.
That
in my
man has
stead.
no code. He's less of a code
That's
than
true.
me.
All he wants is live media
He just
passes.
doesn't care. Yeah, that's it. You win him over. That's it. A Range Goes t-shirt and he's mine. He will do anything.
This is
A
true.
medallion and a t-shirt.
Come on,
that's
Ron.
it.
You're better than this.
So no, that's it. I think we sign out. Anything else you want to say before you go?
No, over and out.
Over and
Yeah.
out, done. Right, cheers for joining us as well, Ronan. We'll be back again next week without John Craven because he's...
Oh, I do. I'm starting my own GoFundMe. I was telling you that earlier. Going to be putting up an article a week. Yeah, no, go on.
No, cheers for tuning in. We'll be back next week and chat to you soon.